cancel. Share. हाथ आपका चलिए क्या प्राइवेट तो नहीं है सर
So should we start? Yes. Can I start with the first birthday? 3rd Jan. 3rd Jan. So it was very easy. Thank your parents. They knew we were going to come for this activity. Okay.
31st January.
Okay.
7th January.
Okay. Yes?
I'm 30th January.
Oh, so it already happened. Okay.
10th Feb.
Okay.
18th Feb.
Okay.
19th Feb. 22 February. 6th March.
16th March.
1st April. 9th April. 11th April. 30th April. 19th April.
30th April has happened.
13th May. 5th May.
5th May.
15th May.
Okay.
18th May. 18th May.
Okay.
24th May. 30th May. 4th June. 14th June. 26th June. 4th July. 30th July. 30th July. 3rd August. 10th August.
30th.
17th August. 27th September. 28th September. 22nd October.
Okay. So teachers, one of the most important things, this activity was on non-verbal communication. Technically, the moment you enter your class, your children look at you and then they'll say, "Ma'am, का mood आज अच्छा है, breakfast खाया है कि नहीं खाया है?" Yes, we used to do that as well. Your face represents half of you. And you don't need to talk. Most of the times, there's other people to judge what your personality is. Agree?
Yes.
Especially the little kids actually look at your face and then they decide, oh, मेरी teacher अच्छी है कि बुरी.
The problem is that now we are wearing masks.
Still they'll be able to see you. See, even when you were wearing mask, you were able to interact, right? Okay, so but then this was also to divide you into groups. So count till 6. Okay, you have 6 people in each group. So say 1, 1,
4, 5, 6, 1.
wait. Okay, remember your number. Remember your number, okay? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Very
1,
good.
2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And 1. Okay, all ones come out. You are in one group. Say hi to each other and sit right in the front. Right there. Next to me. Yeah, so you could be nicer to each other. Decide a way in which you're going to give a virtual hug to yourself and to your friends. Go ahead. See your virtual hug. Whatever way you could twist, do whatever. Yes, please sit down. All number 2s. Okay, can we be a little happier? See, here we go.
ना पड़े
1, 2, 3, go. Very nice. Please sit down. 2s, all 2s come out. You're the next group. Take a seat. Again, all 2s. Yes? Give a nice virtual hug. Say hi to each other. Okay, now you start your game. here. Okay? You start your game. You will say two lies and one truth about each other. Your name, two lies, and one truth about each other. Let each other guess. Okay? Please. Very nice. Give a nice big hug to each other. Yes. Get there. Even these. You can also give a nice hug. Okay, pause. Except for group number 1 that will have 7. 5 and 6. Please give a nice big hug. 6. 8. No, why we remove 2 people? Can you just come around? One group would have only 6 because we counted only till 6. So you can't have 8. Except for group number 1 that will have 7. So can you come along? But why do you have 8? 1 to 6 will have only 6 ones. Number will be okay. So you could go there. You take one person out of the group. Yeah, you could go there. Stay. Okay. So, so we had more than because I was told 35. So I thought 6 and 36. But then we have more than 36. So, yeah. You should have only 6 members in a group. So if we have an extra, we'll make another group. Okay? Now do we have 6 people in each group? You're less. So can I have one person? You go there. Right there at that one. Okay. So these bags are not important for you. These are very important. So take the bags out. So that you can see. Okay. So today we are going to talk about learning outcome-based teaching. Can you hear me like that? Because this is going. It's better without that. I have a nice loud voice. Yeah, because this echoes well. Yeah. Okay. So what is learning outcome-based teaching? Learning outcome-based teaching is something which is smart. Okay. What is smart? It's specific, it's measurable, it is adaptable, it's relevant, and it's based on a particular time. Okay? So there's this acronym called SMART. But then let's understand why learning outcome-based education is very important. And today I'm going to discuss and demonstrate how to do learning outcome-based teaching within your class and how to do learning outcome-based assessment within your class. So both of them, okay? So you would read this, my end of it, what is the result that the kid has? So it has to be more relevant to what the child can do than deciding, okay, this is my objective and I'm going to achieve this. So objectives are important, but at the end of it, have we achieved the outcome or not? So the main word says outcome, right? So if we've achieved the learning outcome, then we've achieved the very purpose of our teaching. So today, let's look at why it is important. The word actually is OBE and not only learning outcome based, it's outcome based education. So at the end of it, both the outcome of teaching as well as learning. And why is it important? So can anybody describe the first table and the second table to me? Table A and table B. Who's going to describe table A and table B to me? Yes.
The table A is rectangular in shape. It is having two pillars and the one pillar I'm able to see at the back side.
Okay. So can we give her a big hand? What's going to be the big hand? Wait. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do that thrice. And then at the end of it, we're going to shout hooray. Okay? Ready, steady, go. Hooray! Okay. So the first one is a rectangular shape and the second one is more squarish. Yes, that's the description of the two tables? Yes. Okay, let's see if that's true. It's true?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
No? Maybe?
It's
Yes?
I think they are placed in different ways. That is why one is looking rectangular and another one is looking square.
Square. Okay. Any other? Okay.
A1 is a bench and the second one is a table.
Okay. Let's see if that's correct. Where's the volume? No, it isn't. No, it's not. Till then, I will just arrange all my rajas. Can we come in, please? Okay, till then, again, talk about each other and two lies and two truths. Do that till we arrange that, okay? And if somebody catches you in telling the lie, that person gets 2 rajas. Okay? These are your points. At the end of it, I'm going to check who's going to have the maximum points. Okay? So, here you go. Can you just keep passing it on, please? From here to that side and from here. Take one, pass on the side. This way. My favorite time is spent when I give a hug to a tree. Which one is a lie?
Second one. Your favorite color is not your favorite color is blue.
Yes. How many of you say the first one? Anybody who says the first one? Okay, you say I don't like to read. Okay. Second one is my favorite color is blue.
Second one.
Okay, and the third one is I like to give a hug to a tree. Okay, you'll be surprised it's the first one. Okay, I can't sit down and read very long books, I get tired. I'd rather go and enjoy the experience instead. So we all are different. So technically a resource person should be sitting and reading all the time, right? But we are all different. Done? Okay, so that's exactly what you have to do. First, know each other's name, talk about your lies and your truth. If somebody catches your lie, then he gets 2 kidney beans, Rajma. ठीक है? चलो शुरू हो जाओ जब तक हम ये करते हैं मैनेज. And go ahead and go
अब एक टेबल पे कितना
Yes. There's a problem with the
If I was asking what this drawing depicts, I guess you'd say it's
Okay, we finally achieved it. Say yay. Yay. Okay, so let's see what this one has to tell us, okay?
what do you know? I mean, what do you absolutely positively know for sure? I'm Dan Trometer, and I'm going to show you something that is not a magic trick, but it's one of the most magical things I've ever seen. It's a drawing by this guy, Roger Shutter. He's a cognitive scientist, and he created this drawing. If I was to ask you what this drawing depicts, I guess you'd say it's two tables. One is long and skinny, the other, I know that's what I would have said. But what if I was to tell you that the tabletops are actually both exactly the same size and shape? Don't believe me? Let's take a closer look. I'll color in the top surface of just the left table. Now, I'll animate that shape to rotate through space and onto the other table. And you can see the tables are indeed exactly the same size and shape. Unless you've seen this drawing before, you're probably thinking, nice try, Photoshop boy. So let's take a look at it in the real world. Here's that exact same drawing and a little extra red piece that perfectly matches the top surface of the left table. No trickery. The tables are exactly the same. Isn't that fascinating? Before you were told otherwise, you knew those tables were different. It's a brilliant optical illusion that illustrates the idea that sometimes the things that we know for sure are wrong. Knowing is a great feeling. It gives us confidence and a feeling of certainty. But when knowing comes from a place of assumption, it can lead to real problems. For example, you're probably assuming right now that because I'm wearing glasses, I must have poor eyesight, when in fact I have perfect eyesight, and these glasses have no lenses. Now that's an assumption that carries no risk. There's no downside to that. But sometimes the assumptions we make keep us stuck in our problems. Because if we think we know the answer, we don't even think of new solutions. The challenge is to continually ask ourselves, am I sure? To really question the things that we think we know versus the assumptions we're making. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have for this belief?
Specialization is cognitive sciences actually. I have worked on left and right brain teaching methods and multiple intelligence. That is my area of specialization. And you'll be surprised that every element of teaching that we do in our classroom actually depends on how we perceive things. It's totally based on perception. Just as we saw these tables, we're going to also work with some more very exciting activities that will show how cognition actually impacts our brain. This is based on the concept, why do we need learning outcome-based education? What is the need of learning outcome-based education and what concept does it come? Okay? So, that's it. Thank you. Okay, so now you're going to do do this activity. You're going to look at the chart and say the color, not the word. Okay? You have to say the color and not the word, and you have to speak as fast as possible. So what is this color that I am wearing? This one? My skirt? Maroon. So that means you know your colors. Yes? And you want to try it first? Okay, go ahead. Green. Yes. Green. Red. Blue. Blue. Green. Black. Red. Green. Green. Blue. Black. Blue. Red. Green. Not that easy, huh? Okay, try it within your groups now. Try doing it within your groups. Okay? And time each other. Quickly. Come on. Time each other to see how fast your brain is actually moving from one direction to the other. Okay, this was interesting. You must hear this out. Dr. Chakri, you must hear this out. So she said, "नहीं मैं देखूंगी तो आराम से बोलूंगी." You have to say the color, okay? जल्दी से come on. Black,
Then maroon, blue, yellow, yellow, green, black, maroon, green, blue, black, blue, maroon, and green.
Okay, so what is it? Reading the word is easier than reading the color? Reading the word is easier than reading the right? Remember? This is yet another example of the same thing. Now, why did this happen to you? This is a very famous experiment on reading skills. And it was done by a scientist called Stroop. And this entire experiment is called the Stroop effect. What is the Stroop effect, basically? Stroop effect is that our mind can process words. Once we know the meaning of the words, our mind processes the words faster than it processes the colors. Okay? And eventually the implication of this experiment was that we all have a selective attention span. Selective attention span as in, there will be few things that we'll be able to see, while there will be few things that we will not be able to see. And also it came to something called the parallel distribution theory, which meant that there will be few things that we'll do faster, while there will be few things that we will not be able to do faster. Now, what was this whole experiment all about? So, Mr. Stroop, what he did was, he first gave in black and white all the words. And then he said, okay, children, quickly, these were given to college students, not even children, okay? And they said, okay, read it. And typically, as you see, the kids took out only 41 seconds to do that. Then he gave the colors and said, name the colors. And that took around 63 seconds. 1,000 words, it took double the time, which was 110. And that's when the entire concept came in that we all have a different processing speed and we all process different things at different times. And that is where your learning outcome based education comes in, because if you want to enhance the brain capacity of your child, you will have to work on every level of your brain. Unless you do that, there will be only a very restricted processing that will happen. So you have to work at each level, and now initially it used to be knowledge level that we used to work at because there was no internet. And so there was only this one teacher who had all the knowledge, who would represent all that knowledge to the students. Today, believe me, your children know more than you.
Exactly.
Yes? So knowledge is gone because knowledge can very easily be achieved. And that's where comes in, as Dr. Chinteri was also talking about multiple intelligence and he was talking about Bloom's taxonomy. Let's try one more game and then we'll move on to those aspects as well. Okay? So here again, you don't have to read the word, you have to speak the animal. So the first one is a spider, the word, but then you have to say penguin. Start off.
Penguin.
Penguin, giraffe, elephant, horse, spider, camel.
Monkeys, yes. There's no monkey there.
Penguin, giraffe, deer, sparrow, spider, camel, chicken, pork, pig, zebra, snake, tiger, elephant, tortoise, cow, fish, cat, frog, crab, bee, horse.
Okay.
Spider
So,
can
again, you must have realized it was easier to read the word and more difficult to read the picture behind. Okay? So, let's understand that if you want to read more about it, this is what it is all about. It's in a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. Basically, it works on your thinking skills as to how we think faster. Okay? What kind of activities can you do to think faster? Why are children having a problem in thinking of your subject and not the other subject? Not many things happen like that. You know, so there will be some children who will be very good with your subject but very bad in another subject. Yes? And that is all because of the way we process our thought process. Now, since we're working on learning outcome, although my entire specialty is on cognitive intelligence. Maybe when I come back again, we'll talk about cognitive intelligence in detail to understand how we think. Okay? However, right now, what we'll see is how to work on learning outcome-based thinking at different processing levels. Okay? So, let's move on that aspect. Draw an apple, please. Quickly draw an apple. Draw an apple. Quickly draw an apple and don't show your apple to anybody like a task to kid. Okay? Okay, yes. And then draw the water cycle. Chandrasekhar? Can we give a pen and paper to any dignitaries here as well? Yeah, it's your test as well. No, actually, if you keep occupied, then you won't get bored. The speed processing theory is happening, okay? Okay. So the third thing is draw the area of this room. want to go and buy this room? What's the area? I don't know whether you said it. Okay. And finally, draw trigonometry. We've all taken coaching classes on this subject, topic. At least I have, and I understood nothing. Draw trigonometry. No talking. Test happening. Correct trigonometry कैसे draw करते हैं? If you're trying to, okay, hold on. Should I remove this? Better? Okay. Done? Okay, so I think that you must have already made. Let me tell you the first apple that you made. Okay, now you can keep your pens down. We don't do anything after this. Most probably you would have one drawing out of these 5 drawings. Okay. One apple with a twig on top of that and a leaf. This will be the most common. How many of you make that apple, twig and leaf? You did not make the apple? That's it. Okay. So, how many of you made an apple with a twig? With only twig. That's the second apple that we see. Okay? People do make a bit of shading as well. You know, they put a line there. Anybody who's done that? Yes. Okay, how many of you make the iPhone apple? iPhone apple. Anybody who's made an iPhone apple? No. You're not. You know, you've all grown old. Ask the young kids, they'll make an iPhone apple. Yes? How did I know that you would have made these apples?
I've made a bitten one.
A bitten one? Yeah, that's an iPhone apple. You are young. Okay, so here we are. How did I know what kind of an apple you would make?
Ma'am, that's the basic perception, like everybody makes the same way, that is why.
So everybody knows that the apple is going to come here. It's all because of Oxford. Believe me, the Oxford University Press also says A for apple with an apple and a twig and a leaf. Did anybody make eyes and lips on the apple? Leaves, I said. The first one was 1 leaf and 2 leaves. Huh? That's what happens, generally. So, why did I know what kind of an apple it is?
We have been learning the same way since childhood that the apple is made in that way only.
So, nobody thought of putting a guess?
Because whenever we read the book, we see the same picture.
Over and over and over
That's why
again.
we all made the same picture, means almost.
Yes. Okay. So nobody thought of actually putting the apple with hands and feet. Nobody thought of actually designing the apple inside. Nobody thought of any apples within a basket or an apple. I did not tell you what kind of an apple you have to do. I just said draw an apple. So this was an experiment on creativity skills. What happens is, right from the very beginning, we are conditioned to think in a particular way and we get stuck there. This is a perfect creativity example. So there are many kind of apples that we make here. See, I didn't even have written them all there. I wasn't even here, I didn't see your apples, but I knew your apples. Why? Because you're all very conditioned. And therefore, I was almost sure that, you know, I will not get a different apple. These are the kind of apples generally. And that's why it comes to this concept. And so there could be many more creative apples. However, you restrict it to the same apple. Let's move on. This is something that you have been doing right from the very beginning. So technically, the apple that you made was at the stage of understanding, and and not, creativity does not come in here because this is the older version of Bloom's taxonomy. You don't have to take a photograph. I have a handout which has all of these things in it. Okay? So, initially in the yesteryears, it was knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. This is the yesteryear pattern from where we used to take out our objectives. B.Ed में इसको रट रट के थक गए, है ना? यही करा था ना cognitive intelligence, right? However, today we are going to see how we are going to work on learning outcome-based education through this, okay? But the newer version. Now this whole newer version has changed into this. So what is the yesteryear and the this year pattern? So if you see, in the yesteryear, we used to identify our objectives and the curriculum used to remain the same. Teachers were focused on completing the syllabus. So syllabus complete, patient died. Our objective was syllabus complete होना है. कुछ भी हो, चाहे learning outcome हो, चाहे, right? So syllabus complete, patient died, students' knowledge was assessed maximum. But in today's learning outcome-based education, curriculum is planned and designed according to the needs of the student at different mental levels. Okay? Where do we get our mental levels from? We get our mental cognitive levels from Bloom's taxonomy itself. Now Bloom's taxonomy has changed. However, let's understand learning outcome-based education has different features, student-centric, it's skill-based, it's learning statements, providing learning activities, and assessment that matches the outcome. So what does that mean? According to new education policy, let's take the main learning outcome of English and math. So in grade 2 or let's see grade 2, children should be able to read 45 to 60 words in a minute. Now this is specific. Yes? It's measurable. You can measure whether they are able to read 45 to 60 words in a minute. Entire teaching will be based on this now. So we're going to have a phonics program, we're going to have all of those programs such that by grade 2, children are able to finish reading 60 words in a minute. By grade 3, these would be for sure 60. So here in grade 2, it was 40 to 60. Grade 3, when they come in, it will be 60 words per minute. Similarly, you have your mathematics as well. To what extent of numbers they should come. So learning outcome means very, very specific. Itna kar sakte hain. This is my result. Okay? Initially, as I told you, it was knowledge, understanding, application. But now it's changed. Initially, it was objective oriented. Now it is outcome oriented. So what's the difference between objective oriented and outcome oriented? Outcomes are the specific ones, the result that the child has achieved. Objective is your agenda per topic. Then you have the goals. Goals are more relevant to the entire school and the curriculum system. And mission is for the new education policy. So outcome is very chapter based. Okay? And don't worry, this is all theory to you. We're going to do it practically out here. इससे ज़्यादा lecture में दूंगी नहीं. Just another 10 minutes and we'll start playing. Okay? So what's the three domains that we have? One is the cognitive, the other is the affective, and we have the psychomotor. Today I'm going to mainly work with cognitive and a part of affective domains. Okay? Psychomotor, maybe we can leave it for the next time. But today cognitive and affective, and this is your new method. So initially the entire pattern was a triangular pattern, but now the pattern is, remembering is the smallest, understanding is bigger, supposed to be the maximum now. So technically here, creating, that's what they're saying is the maximum. That is for the senior classes. For the primary classes, it is applying that you have to focus on maximum. Okay? Now what does that mean? So therefore you've decided that children should know how to define. So they should be able to write definitions. If they are able to know how to define, then it is a knowledge-based concept. So if you say the question is define evaporation or define condensation or any of these subjects, you have asked a knowledge-based question. So if you look at all of them, on your right hand side, the third column, you will see what does remembering do. Remembering makes you define, it makes you duplicate, it makes you locate, it makes you list. All these activities are remembering-based activities. However, if you're working on understanding, then it is classifying, describing, paraphrasing, summarizing. These are all understanding-based. Okay, so if you ask them to summarize, recognize, report, all of these are understanding-based aspects. Then we come to choose. If you're making them draw, if you're making them illustrate, if you're making them do an application of a particular topic, all that is applied. So let's quickly look at applying. Choose, demonstrate, dramatize. So all your role plays come in the applying stage. Okay? Then interpret, operate, schedule, sketch, solve, use, write. Now grammar and mathematics mostly are at application stage. Okay? And that is why they become difficult. Because they won't start with knowledge, they straight away start with applying. Okay? Followed by you have evaluating, so analyzing and evaluating. So synthesis has been removed and analysis has come into play. Analysis is breaking a particular concept into parts, right? And understanding them in different ways. And finally, we have the creating, evaluating and creating. Evaluating means you break them into parts and then you bring them together, then you justify, you give your opinion, you give. So any of these questions that you make can actually be, we can actually see it and say, okay, you focused on knowledge more, or have you focused on understanding more, or have you focused on creating? Now, often what happens, we have only one project per term. So creating is actually this much. You get me? And so you've not worked on the process of creating, and that's why that happened. Because none of your teachers ever worked on creating. They only do projects anymore. So the creativity thought process never. Got it? So it was not your fault. Blame it on your teacher. Honestly. Because if we don't work on the different levels of processing, I'm sorry, my friends, children would not come to that level of processing. And that is the reason why Shana's doing so well, because they work only on creating all the time, right from the time they're this. Whereas we were still stuck on knowledge. Right? Okay, so you want to see your handouts now? Quickly, within your group, discuss all of this, then we're going to play a game on this. So quickly, discuss it out within the group. And I'm going to give you your handouts. Because human energy has a lot of things to do. Right? Okay? So now if you see analysis would have all questions like compare, distinguish, differentiate, okay, experiment, test. Evaluation would have questions like judge, give your opinion, right? These are words, or give reasons. All of those questions would come to analyze, okay? Argue, debate, defend. All of these are analysis. And create would be assemble, construct, create, design, develop, accommodate. So if I make you create a lesson plan on this particular thing, I'm actually working at the creative level. Right now, I'm working at a knowledge and understanding level, not even applying it. So right now, what I've done is knowledge and understanding. Are we ready to play now? Yes? So what are we going to play now? I'm going to give you some words, and within 30 seconds, I'll give you only 30 seconds, and you have to write all those words, as many as you can within your room. Okay? 30 seconds मिलेंगे, देखते हैं कितनी जल्दी मेमोरी पे काम करोगे. So this is remember. And your time starts now. Yes. 30 seconds में इसको पढ़कर जितने याद रख सकते हो रखो. Your clock is on. बातें करने में बिजी थे, जल्दी जल्दी करो. हाँ, एक साथ नहीं. How many words did you get? 16. Anybody who's got more than 16? 15. Okay. So, 15. 17. Okay. So, we have 17 as the highest right now. Clap, clap. Ready, steady, go. सुनने आ जाओ. Ready, steady, go. 1,
repeated.
This time is repeated. Absolutely.
Detailed. I have repeated. Okay. Demonstrate, illustrate, name, illustrate.
So you also have 16.
16.
Okay, which words did you get? तुम बोला कैसे?
Good morning, everyone. The words are analysis, knowledge, describe, detail, evaluate, classify, calculate, plan, draw, create, build, differentiate, solve, list, name, and discuss.
Very good. Can we give her a big hand too? Ready, steady, go.
Hooray!
Okay. So now that you know the words, we will play a game. Now, if you see out here, okay, you all are going to play match the following in a game format. Match the following in a game format. So, for example, I click this. This is remembering, okay, and match कर दिया? Match कर दिया? है ना? Remembering with name, identify, locate, and find questions that work with. Yes? So this way we have, let's say, discuss, summarize, explain and infer. ये किस पार्ट का ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी है? Discuss, summarize, explain, infer. Understanding. Remember summarizing? ठीक है, मैंने बोला ना ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी को ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी की तरह से करेंगे. So this is all to see whether you understood it or not. So now we have to find understanding. So let's find understanding. कहाँ है? नहीं, ये match नहीं. So I'm going to. Got it? So here we are going to play a game. Let's see which group is going to win. Which game should I start with? Inky, Pinky, Punky. Father has a donkey. Donkey died. Father cried. Inky, Pinky, Punky. Yes. You cannot open what I had opened. Okay? चलो जल्दी से करो. कौन सा वाला आप लोग डॉक में खोलो? जल्दी से बताओ. सबको एक जैसे. Which one should I open quickly? Third? You'll have to do it fast so that we can play more. Third? First row, second row, third row, which row? First. Calculate, diagram, feelings and draw. कौन सा ब्लॉक चाहिए? कौन सा ब्लॉक चाहिए? इसके साथ कौन सा खोलो? Quickly. Is it evaluate? Is it analyze? कौन सा? जल्दी से बताओ. Draw है ये, draw है, calculate है. Draw, creating है. Who said applying? Both of them. Can we give them a big hand? Okay. Applying, because when you calculate, you are applying. When you draw, you are applying. Okay? When you tell your feelings, you are actually applying. All of those are related to applying. आपका कौन सा बॉक्स जल्दी से बोलो। थर्ड रो थर्ड बॉक्स। Oh, evaluate and this does not match. Okay. Now the group next to them. Yes. Choose your block and you have to choose very fast.
Second column.
Second row, second column. Okay. This one. Now you have an answer. अब इसके साथ कौन सा मैच होगा? Last row. Okay. नहीं हुआ. Okay, now you come. Your chance. Third row last. Third. Now you can do whichever table works for you. Okay.
Third row last.
Third row last. Okay. Name, list, identify, find, locate. First one. Okay, you got it. Can we clap for them? Your chance. Which one? First row, third one. Very good.
And last row, last one.
Last one, last one.
And
Close. You forgot. Okay. So you did not get it. Yeah, it's correct. It's correct. Apply. Can you give them a hooray? So you both have got it correct. Your chance. जल्दी से.
First line, fourth one.
First line, fourth one. Okay. Let's see. Justify, comprehend. You know this answer. Both sentences.
Ma'am, third row, third one.
Third row.
Third one.
Okay. Third row, third one. This one. Evaluate. Perfect. Justify. Defend. Come on, let's start. Very good. So, now next, your chance. जल्दी से choose करो. Second row, first one. Oh, sorry. Second row, first one. So we will not have that. Create. Okay. Yes. Good me. Sorry. Fourth row, first one. Third row,
fourth.
This one? Fourth. Last one. Okay, this one. Discuss, summarize, explain. Oh, so sad. आपका एक ये था और दूसरा कौन सा था? ये, है ना? Okay. Next one, who's gonna do it? Your chance. जल्दी से choose करो, which one? Second row, third one. Second row. Compare, contrast, examine, classify. Compare, contrast, आंसर तो दे दो उसका क्या है? Analyzing. See now. हाँ, अब बताओ उसमें कौन सा है? Compare, contrast, examine and classify. Last row, second one. Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay. Finally, you've got a chance.
Third row, second one.
Third row, second one. Okay.
And last row, second one.
No.
Okay.
Second row, second one.
Second row, second one. सही है गलत है? It will be applied. So that means I've done my job well because now all my teachers are saying this is going to be applying, this is going to be remembering, this is going to be yes. So I've ensured that you remember what is remembering, what is understanding, what is analyzing through these cards. Yes. Now what we are going to do is आप इसको अंडरस्टैंडिंग में भी डाल सकते थे by giving examples. मतलब एक क्वेश्चन डाल दिया and then you can match both of them. This is a game that we play and then that would have become understanding. Now we're going to do it demonstrating through a topic, okay? And we're going to study water cycle and I made you make a water cycle?
Yes.
Yes. Now what most probably what you did was आपने again 3-4 drawings होती. एक तो आपका जो वाटर साइकिल का डायग्राम है जिसमें पानी गर्म होता है ऊपर क्लाउड्स होते हैं, right? So either it's gonna be that you make the entire cloud, the water evaporating, then the clouds, then the precipitation. That is the first example drawing that you would have made. The second, the sun. She says sun, yeah, evaporation. Okay. Second drawing that you may have made is the glass with droplets or the bottle with droplets on it. Did anybody make that? No, because there was no applying. That anybody who made dewdrops? Did anybody make a drop on the apple itself? So what did we work on? Again, we worked on the diagram that our teacher had made on the right. So we again got stuck with the knowledge, diagrammatic knowledge of water cycle. Okay, what is water cycle? जब पानी गर्म होता है तो भाप ऊपर जाती है, फिर भाप एक साथ आती है, that becomes the cloud. When that cloud becomes very heavy, then the water. Now, clouds become heavy in 2-3 different ways. One is your nimbus cloud. क्या नाम है? Nimbus cloud is the cloud from which your rain falls. Okay? These are the dark gray clouds. And जो ये आपके feathery white clouds होते हैं ना, those are called the cumulus clouds. In your handout, I have given you 4 different kinds of clouds as well. Right on the last page. Second last page. Nimbus clouds, stratus clouds, cirrus clouds, but I'm going to talk about 2 of them here. You haven't got your handout? Satya? A set of teachers have got their handout. Can we just give them the handout? Do we have them?
Yeah.
Okay. Which all groups haven't got their handouts? You share. So you've given it group wise, okay? Okay. You'll get it. Okay. Now we are going to play a card game on this. So I have created these cards on water paper. Okay. इमेजिनेशन है पूरा का पूरा डायग्राम। अगर आपके व्हाइट क्यूमुलस क्लाउड्स हैं तो क्लाउड्स की पिक्चर है एंड क्यूमुलस क्लाउड्स, right? So we're going to do this, and this is something that you can do in your class. Create your own cards like these as well. Okay? Now each group will get these cards. पहले आप इसको open spread कर लो. See which card is where. Then close it and play the game. Okay? So this is your card. तभी मैंने बोला था ये सब हटा लो. Now this is whose bag is this one? Oh, the camera person. Take off the bottles and everything. Spread it out and take. Okay, every time your answer is correct. Every time your answer is correct, you can take a card and take it over to you. Okay?
So it has to be on this side.
Okay.
ओपन है, फर्स्ट ओपन है। ज्वाइन किया गया अंदर।
सर के साथ
ओके,
एरिक सर के साथ
ठीक है, अब ये चालू है। ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, ठीक है, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की डेफिनेशन आपको बताएगी। ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन मैच है, ठीक है। ये कंडेंसेशन है, ये कंडेंसेशन है। नहीं, ये कंडेंसेशन डेफिनेशन होगी कंडेंसेशन की। कंडेंसेशन इज द प्रोसेस, ठीक है। अब अपन इसको टर्न कर देंगे। देन व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, सपोज आई हैव टेकन आउट द कंडेंसेशन, देन आई हैव टू सर्च वेयर इज द डेफिनेशन। गॉट?
So हम लोग बस
But we have to ask whether we have to turn it or it should be open and we have to turn it.
Yes, perfect. आपको पता समझ में आ गया क्या करेंगे? You know what transpiration is?
देखो एक बार देखो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन
Shut it down by that and down. You got it? Now this is the
water cycle. This is snowfall. Water cycle again. Yes, condensation, evaporation. This is water cycle. This is motorcycle. This is precipitation. This is precipitation. Precipitation, transpiration. Condensation. Water cycle shows. This is precipitation also. Clouds. This is water cycle, okay? This is evaporation, condensation. Water cycle. Water cycle. Transpiration. Water cycle, transpiration. This is condensation. Clouds. Because this is one before.
हाँ
The card also we have to pay. And the kidney beans
and that
also.
we will.
So start. Take everyone. Identify them. You have to see that this is water cycle. You have to match it. You are saying this one, this
Now, this is some of the center that new education policy is talking about. Now, these cards right from class 1 to हाँ पहले ओपन इसलिए कर लो so that you remember and then highlight
same place पे बंद कर देना उसके अंदर कोई हाँ you have to say everyone will get a chance
This will be a test between us.
हाँ between us
Yeah, no less than children.
sure
नहीं नहीं नीचे नहीं गिरे
citrus cloud grey clouds keep it back here this also keep it back here now I am क्या है cloud आ गया यार मेरे को भी नहीं पता कैसे
Nimbus cloud है.
नहीं Cyrus cloud are the delicate feathery cloud that are okay yes
The white one.
agam agam
The one which was white.
next Nami. Yes. Your turn.
This is Nimbus clouds. Okay, so what is precipitation of background?
Wait. That's the same point which you again. Kind of saying, no. Next, your turn. Spring coming out, that's it. This is Nimbus.
Cumulus cloud. Oh. बिल्कुल नहीं.
Water cycle.
Definition. Cumulus था. I'm such honest people, I will tell you. Because you're not picking up the ones that we've seen and done. So none of us did. Second round.
Come on, take it. No. No.
We have honest people at the table, sir.
Yeah, water cycle. And yours.
Good. She remembered.
So I have to take the notes.
मेरे.
This is water cycle. Somewhere over there. That is Cyrus cloud. This is precipitation, Indian precipitation. Will match with precipitation. Water cycle.
Condensation. That arrived with Nimbus. And Nimbus weather prediction. इतनी जल्दी होता है. Teamwork. Okay. Okay, now do it individually. Okay, start. Keep doing till everybody has something in their mind. It is not like a one round. You say the second round, third round, fourth round, all of them. Till everything goes on for that. ऐसे कैसे आहा, वो खोलेंगे. और फिर फैलाओगे कैसे अगर आप ये करोगे फिर वही नॉलेज पे काम Okay. Start. And go like this.
Very dark. नहीं बचा दिमाग से Where is that going? नहीं सब खुद open it. Images are not there. Be able to match. Human. Yeah. This is right. I have one. For remembering.
ये जब कंडेंस होता है ना तो उसका वापस ऑप्शन नहीं ना फेदरी ऐसा कुछ मेंशन नहीं ये सही है कंडेंसेशन इज लाइक जब वाटर
Yes, ma'am.
kind of
Fountain, I think, na?
what is it
Don't tell now, just search for
Yeah,
it.
just see.
Search.
it may be rain
No, it's not rain. It's not
snow
rain.
rain and snow
It's a fountain.
No, this is not a rain.
It is, I think, condensation.
God knows.
this is this no rain
No,
or
no,
snow
no. It will be dark. This is not
Yeah,
dark.
it is
Rain is
saying
not
that-
So
going to.
teachers, let's come down. As per the new education policy, we have to create these teacher resource banks within the class. We have to make these indigenous toys. है ना? New education policy toys बनाने की बात कर रहा है. This is one toy that will work for all subjects. जितने भी subjects हैं, this will work because all subjects have their own words. All subjects have their own meanings. Meanings have their own, I mean, the entire thing has their own images. Yes? और अब बैठकर आप मत बनाने लगना. Just tell your children on this particular lesson, please make these cards of this size. Or by chart paper. Simple. So that all of them look alike. Your resource bank, your children will make it. मेरे को खुद बनाना पड़ा because I don't go to a school. Right? So they come, they make these cards, they keep it with them. Next year you use it again with the same rules. Right? So what they do is they keep playing and they have to, now here I just kept letting you see them. But within the groups, every time they open the card, they will be only allowed to pick up the other card when they define it or explain. So children, because here you were teachers, I didn't bother about that much. Okay? So बच्चे अपने आप ही बोलेंगे मैम इसने definition नहीं दी थी इसको नहीं open करने को allow. Because they're very competitive. Right? This way it will work wonders on the they'll remember. So this is based on knowledge and this teaching activity was based on knowledge and understanding. Also applying because at places I have picked up realistic pictures. For example, evaporation. That was a realistic picture. So unless you would apply evaporation knowledge on that picture, you will not be able to understand. So this particular game was at 3 different processing levels. अगर definition to definition pick up करा है, it's knowledge. Get it? अगर आपने exact diagram करा है, it is understanding. और अगर आपने exact realistic picture करी है, it is. Now can you just pack up my cards and give it back to me, please? Just keep it on your table, I'll come and pick it up, okay? 8 centimeters by 5.5 centimeters. That's what the size of these cards were. Okay. इसी तरह से एग्जैक्ट बनाना जिसमें कि सब अलग अलग ना बनाए, अलग अलग बनाएंगे तो वो दूसरी चीज को याद करके खोल देंगे. Remember that. Okay, so they all have to make exactly the same kind of cards, and then they can play with it. So instead of you telling them कि अब इसको याद कर लो घर में, we can play this. It'll be fun, right? Okay, now we've done water cycle. Now, if I have to teach water cycle in an applying manner, what will you do? If I want to show them how to apply water cycle, I'll just show you a school where I was studying what they had done. Now see, just an electric kettle, we put the water, we said, okay, put your hand there. पानी जाकर इसके ऊपर हो रहा था, and we said, go to the cooler area, the water would come. This is exactly what it is. So now, if I do this experiment there, I am. Okay? So, this is what? Teaching according to learning outcome. Now, let's go to the next. Another example. What is analyzing? Comparing, distinguishing, differentiating. Yes? So I have given two diagrams. You could give two answers and then say, okay, compare the two diagrams. What do you think is the difference? Observe at least one significant difference. Another kind of a question. Instead of just make a diagram, you can have several kind of diagrams for the same particular topic. So that's what it is. जल्दी से मेरे को एक significant difference अपने group में बात करके बताओ. What is the difference between both the cycles, both the diagrams? जल्दी से अपने. Yes. So both the pictures have rivers. See, both the pictures have rivers. That means through the mountain and their ocean. Yes. Things are different, but I want you to see the difference between the water cycle diagrams. Okay? Yes. Transpiration will be more. Can we give her a big hand on that? What's the hand? Ready, steady, go. Hooray! Yes. Transpiration, because we have more trees, transpiration would be more. Like we have this lady up here, she said that the water body out here is smaller and the water body out here is bigger. So with the result, where will we get evaporation more? Second one. So can we clap for her as well? What? Hooray! Okay. Any other difference? Quickly. दो teacher marks मिलेंगे ना? So these are teacher points and the Ragmas are self-assessment. Self and peer assessments. This is teacher assessment. Okay? You want it for your group, okay? Yes. Oh, brilliant. So in the second picture, we can even see the nimbus clouds. Technically, आपका बच्चा बोलेगा मैम ये जो वाटर साइकिल है ना ये गलत है. Okay. So she says in the first diagram there is the evaporation happening because the sun is not there. Yes. So can we give her a big hand? She said it first. Yes, you wanted to say something? Yes. In the first figure, we can see precipitation happening, and the nimbus has still not, come up with its rain, right? Yes, absolutely. So can we give her a big hand too? Kali beta, healthy okay. You also lose weight when you clap, by the way. Yes. In the second picture,
After the condensation, precipitation correction is done more.
in the second picture, collection is more. Yeah. So she gave that point that the water body out here is bigger than that. But we can still give her a point, right? So can you clap for her again? Okay. So you have diagrams in your own disciplines. This particular topic was on analysis. Okay. So instead of sitting and just writing, we are using our applying mind as well. So both applying is happening as well as analysis. So two processing fields are happening together. Up. You got that right? Okay. All of you will pick it up very fast now. Incomplete diagram. Evaporation is. So, evaporation is not there. No evaporation. Evaporation is sun नहीं है तो evaporation not there. So did you realize that I took up a topic called water cycle? I work on knowledge, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and now how do we create? Anybody who's going to create rain? वो applying था उससे create हो गई थी? Yes, that was one example. This is an amazing example. Try doing it. Just read it. So what you have to do is just take a pin, tighten it up nicely, okay, and leave it in the sun. The water from the bowl would rise, come on the cellophane, fall in the cup. And so you will be able to see. If your cup is full of whatever, even if it has this much of water, rain has. So now if I have done this, I have come to a creating. Right? One topic, each level has been. So when you create your lesson plans, you will also do the same thing. For knowledge, this will be my teaching strategy. For my remembering, this will be my teaching strategy. For understanding, this will be my teaching strategy. At an applying stage, this will be my teaching strategy. I can combine all three teaching strategies within one strategy like I did. Okay? And then for analyzing and evaluating and creating, I'll keep it separate because these are higher order thinking skills. So, remembering and understanding our lower order thinking skills, applying to creating our higher order thinking skills. Also called the critical thinking skills. Okay? Now we're going to do it for all subjects and our little bachas, but let's see how we can create our lesson plans in a tabular format. Okay? If you see, I'll say knowledge and factual. Cognitive level is the lowest. Teaching learning would be lecture, memorization, podcasts. What are podcasts? Nowadays you have these videos on which children can listen. This is something that I often used to do. That आप अपने topic पर बच्चों से बोलो create an audio podcast and children listen to each other. Okay, create a fun audio. You have it there. I will relate to you in your handout. Okay, don't worry. I have two different kind of lesson plans. Both the lesson plans are there inside. So what we do is, okay, I'm going to talk about lecture, I'm going to talk about memorization, podcast. Video is also a part of remembering. Okay, so if you think that you've done an activity-based teaching by showing video, you're still at the lowest cognitive level. And that is why many times आप वीडियो चाहे जितना दिखा दो बच्चा पढ़ता नहीं समझ जाता है लेकिन reflect okay because you're still at the remembering level. Then what formative assessment do you want to do? What summative assessment you want? As you see here, furthermore, so for example, I'll say if you're doing analyzing, you will do surveys, case studies, things like that. Okay? If you're doing applying, we'll demonstrate with an activity, we'll dramatize. I've given you all the techniques for each level within your handout. So you would know that if I have done dramatizing, my focus of teaching method was applying. Okay? I'll show it to you. Here you are. To all subjects now. Let's play. Chale? Okay. Now I'm going to apply teaching. Okay, first let me show you where you, can you see page number 6 please? Thank you. Page number 6. This is where your lesson plans are. Okay? There's another longer one as well. I've given you 2 formats of lesson plans. Page number 6. Okay? This is the second one. Lesson plan format 2. So the first one is an easier one where you don't have to write too much. You simply write these activities, the tabular one, and this is what I mean. The skill that will be developed would be observation skill or communication skill or whatever skill. Okay? Analysis skill, whichever. What will be your learning outcome and done. So now let's play for all other subjects. अब हमारे छोटे KG वाले teachers हैं यहाँ पे? Do we have the little ones? Grade 1, grade 2, no? Grade 2. Okay, so let's all go there. Come, we will all make a circle there. We are now going to do apply